Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we discuss my thoughts on episode 2 of the anime series, Keijo! Oh my god. The training regimen that these girls are going through to build muscle, butt figure eights, and like, butt walking for 30 meters or whatever it is. Yeah, butt walking, that's a thing, apparently. I was dying with all of the stuff they gotta do. I don't even know how you do the butt figure eights, and I'm wondering if that's really true, as they learn in the classroom the physiology between people born primarily in Japan, where their pelvic muscle is sort of tilted backward, whereas people in the Americas, it's tilted forward, so, like, I guess American butts are uplifted somehow. I don't know if this is genuinely a thing on a genetic level or whatever, but I thought that was absolutely fascinating to put that in there, even if it isn't true. But, it does sort of speak to a pseudo-science, if you will, in what they're doing, you know, all the training that they are doing, which it seems insane, but at the same time, I mean, they all take it so genuinely and so seriously, and these girls are really out to evolve. And I love that the central aspect of this episode, I mean, they completely, with the PV for this episode attached to the first episode, you completely didn't see what, you know, direction the story was going to go by the time this episode rolled around. The entire aspect of Alba, who is very much the sort of soft-spoken, if she speaks at all, you know, member of Room 309, the soon-to-be empty room if they live up to the expectations that everyone in this Keijo Academy has placed on them. You know, for Alba to really be the central figure of this episode, it really warmed me to her character right off the bat when they're trying to talk about this master Keijo player that Nozomi once saw live, and that's what really inspired her to choose this as her career path. And all the while in the background, you have Alba's, like, ponytail wagging like a dog tail, like a puppy dog tail, every time she's hearing information she recognizes and speaks to her knowledge. But of course, she's monosyllabic. She's not going to say anything about it. And there's really a lack of communication. There's a communication breakdown as they have to be tested with the sort of beach volleyball. And, you know, you have things like the wind speed and the wind direction changing that are really going to affect keeping that ball in the air using only their butts is the challenge, and whoever can do it like 30 times and above is going to get a sweet treat, a gelatinous ice cream, gelato, whatever it was, you know. It's like, okay, well, this really brought about, though, a learning curve, you know, for these girls. I mean, they're basically saying, well, you know, let's have this girl be the leader, but it's still, there's no communication, there's no real understanding, and Nozomi is picking up on the fact that every time that ball lands, here is Alba. She's right there. And at first, I was kind of under the specious impression that maybe, you know, Nozomi was picking up on the fact that Alba was trying to sabotage this in some manner. But I mean, what sense would that have made? Because she would have ultimately failed as well. She would have been sabotaging her own group and thus failed as a result. So of course, Nozomi picks up on the fact that every single time that ball lands, there is Alba. She is somehow able, through tactile sensation using her hand, through the way her ponytail whips around in the breeze, she can calculate masterfully where this ball is going to be. And suddenly you have a very continental shift in the way they're going to come at this. When they have the actual challenge, it's amazing, because here they are, they were the lowest scorers with 0 points or whatever it was, even though it kind of looked like not many of the other groupings were getting that many points, but apparently they were the lowest. And here they ended up, because they can now communicate, because Nozomi would watch Alba and perceive every little, almost imperceptible reaction she had, you know, thinking in real time, almost doing a Sherlock Holmes, you know, observational trick, where she's just picking up on every little thing. Do her eyes shift? Is her ponytail whipping this way or that way? How is her hand, you know, floating in the breeze? She could pick up on where that ball was going to be and have her team ready every single step of the way. And then Nozomi even added a little, like, special tactic where she was purposely watching, but she was going to misdirect the direction, you know, so Alba would have to break her silence. She'd have to be motivated and moved to actually speak. And the whole reason she wasn't, apparently the reason she is so monosyllabic, is because of her particular accent. Nozomi had made an offhand comment about, wow, there's so many different dialects coming together here. Nozomi having an interesting dialect of her own. And here Alba was very self-conscious about having her voice be heard for that reason. So they end up besting it. They end up getting the gelato, the ice cream that they saw the elite members of the academy having for frickin' breakfast. And I mean, I want to sit at that table with all the food they you know, all looked gorgeous. The main girls are all fawning over the regular lunch and everything like that, and regular breakfast, but then they see what the elites have, and they're like, holy hell. I was like, holy hell. Let me sit at that table. But anyway, finally, toward the end, do we get the on-land, on-water challenge, where we're going to see, you know, what the effects are of the group of girls basically working together in all of that, you know, all of that, trying to get that beach volleyball to stay in the air. They learn to communicate, and what can they bring? What skills can they bring to actually going up against a teacher in a mock trial? And it ends up being, as we saw in the PV from the last episode, you know, the sort of tank teacher lady who apparently was once an alluring, you know, siren of her own right in the Keijo sport, but here she is much more beefier, you know, much more muscle mass and weightiness, and she is not to be trifled with. But I love that all of the aspects of communication, all of the aspects of teamwork were in play, because you had these girls coming together. Let's distract her this way. Let's go at her this way. After they realize singularly they're not going to make much effect, they all work together, and Nozomi ends up using the butt vacuum cannon or whatever the hell it is, which apparently strips her teammates completely of their swimsuits and blows the ever-loving mind of this teacher in this mock trial. And then, for some reason, they like put her in a gimp suit. I don't know what that's about. I guess they're going to try to hone that butt cannon skill. I mean, I've been wondering how long it was going to take before getting into this series that perhaps the geishas, perhaps farts would become a part of this. And I'm only speculating that's what exactly it is. But it looked like a couple of these girls, whenever they would twist their butts, I mean, that magnetic effect of energy that surrounds their butts, is that gas protruding? Is it just like the sort of anime trope of Super Saiyan power-up for butts? I don't know. But yeah, another great episode of this series, and I really love that there is a center to it. I really love that there is heart and learning and evolving for these characters, in this case coming together and really giving Alba a reason to break out of her shell. You know, favorite character this episode was definitely Alba. And so yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen episode 2 of Keijo as well, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just love having that conversation. And so yeah, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.